thanks again for tuning in to watch. Today's video is going to be the Best of Beauty 2016. Some of these products did come out in this year, and some products have been out for the past couple of years or so. So this isn't something like these just came out and these are my favorite of those. This is like just my favorites of this entire year. This is what I've been wearing non-stop, and I'm excited to share them all with you. So if you want to see my Best of Beauty 2016, then just keep on watching. First, I want to start off with primer. I don't typically wear like an actual primer. I feel like a lot of the primers on the market today are pretty expensive, and the ones that I've tried that are a little bit cheaper don't really do anything for me, if at all, or they break me out. So I'm just not a humongo fan of the less expensive primers, and the more expensive primers that I do like are just so expensive. It's like not necessarily worth me spending like what I would spend on an actual foundation. So long story short, I like to use a moisturizer, preferably a moisturizer that has glycerin as one of the top 3 ingredients. The first ingredient in this, which by the way, let me tell you what this is. This is the Ultra Repair Cream from First Aid Beauty. The first ingredient it has in it is water, and the third ingredient is glycerin. So if glycerin's in one of the top 3 ingredients, you know that it is going to be a pretty good primer for you to use. I love it because it moisturizes my skin. It gives me an intense hydration, but it also has glycerin, which helps the makeup adhere to the skin. It's got a little bit of that like sticky, tacky feeling. When you go like this, you can kind of feel it a little bit sticky, and I like that because it lets your makeup really stick onto your skin, and it does make it last while also hydrating. So this isn't necessarily a primer, but this is what I use for priming, and I love it. Next is foundation. The foundation that I have been loving, you probably know what I'm going to say if you watch any of my past videos, because I rave about this product so often on my channel, but this is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Stick Foundation. I love this foundation for so many different reasons. One is it's in a stick form, obviously, so it applies really, really easy, really quickly. You either blend it in with a beauty blender or a brush, and it gives you a really nice full coverage, but it's not heavy or cakey on the skin. It actually leaves your skin very hydrated looking. It's kind of like a satin finish. It's not dewy, but it's not matte. It's kind of a satin sheen. It's really, really nice, and it has really good staying power. It is just a fabulous, fabulous foundation. I'm wearing it today, and I pretty much wear it every time I do a full face. I love it so much. Next is concealer. You already know. Like, you already know what I'm gonna say. Tarte Shape Tape. It's got amazing coverage. It's brightening, which honestly, before this, I would always have to use 2 different concealers. I'd have to use a concealer that hid my blue, purplish under eyes, and then a brightening one as well, and this does both. So it's very, very covering, very full coverage, but it's also very brightening as well. It blends out beautifully. It's just the epitome of everything I want and need in a concealer. It's got great, great packaging. I love how it's kind of like a chubby sort of packaging. It's very different and chic. I love the purple detailing. It's kind of like chevron sort of design. And then the actual applicator is kind of like a doe foot, but it's like bigger. It's more of like a jumbo version, so it applies a lot quicker. And yeah, nothing else to really say about it other than it is freaking bomb. Best concealer I've ever used, like ever. Okay, let's talk about powders. I use 2 different powders, one for my under eyes and one for my entire face. And the reasoning behind that is because I like using a brightening powder to intensify the brightening under my eyes. The concealing brightens, but then I also like to set with a brightening powder instead of just a regular translucent powder. So the powder under my eyes that I use is the Fit Me from Maybelline, and it's the Normal to Dry Set Smooth Powder. I'm in the shade 110, which is, well, porcelain. It's a really, really good powder. Super, super soft, and it has, look at that. Ugh. it's so bright, it's so pretty. I love it so much. It glides onto the skin so nicely. It doesn't sink into fine lines. It keeps your under eyes really nice and hydrated looking. It doesn't look cakey or creasy under there, and it brightens too. So it's fabulous. They also have a matte version if you're interested in that. Maybe if you have an oily face and an oily under eye area, the matte one is probably just as good. And then I also love the RCMA No Color Powder. I just love it. I love it so much. It's a translucent powder that literally is translucent, because I know a lot of translucent powders like the Laura Mercier one or the Kat Von D one, they're not really translucent. They have some sort of color payoff. This does not, and it's really super finely milled, so it just like blends into the skin like effortless. It blends in so nice, and it doesn't look cakey at all. I don't even know how they get it so finely milled. It looks like super bright, but it's totally translucent. But it's just such a finely milled smooth powder. I love it. I particularly love it for setting my whole face, and then I also use it to clean up the under contour area when I go a little too ham with my contour. I also really like using it if I want to mattify a lipstick. So if I'm using a lipstick and I really like that shade, but I don't really have a liquid lipstick in that color, I will sometimes mattify the lipstick. It could be a satin or kind of a glossy looking lipstick, and this will mattify it. All you have to do is just kind of pat it onto your lips, and boom, it mattifies it. It doesn't leave a white sort of residue on your lips or anything, because it is very translucent, and I love it. It's a multi-purpose, multifunctional powder. The only complaint I have is I hate the packaging. It's kind of like a spice packaging, because it's got this lid here that pops open, and then it's got these little holes in it. I just find it's really weird. Powder ends up going everywhere no matter what you do. And even if you open it here, you can see powder fluffing out. But even when you open it like this, getting a brush in there is too difficult. If you tap it out into the lid or something like that, it again goes everywhere, especially when you try and put the lid back on it. So I'm not a fan. Powder's going everywhere. I'm not a fan of the packaging. I do have this that I poured into like a Laura Mercier tub that was empty, and it's just nice because you get to open it and you can bam, put your powder brush in right there. So I recommend transferring it to some other sort of empty packaging you might have, because I'm not a fan of the packaging of this at all. Other than that, I love it. You can get it at beautylish.com. I got mine at the makeup show in Dallas, but you can get yours I think on Beautylish's website, so check it out. Okay, I want to talk about eyeshadows. First one is the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This palette is amazing, and I love it for so many reasons. First thing is I absolutely love the formula of these shadows. They are so intensely pigmented. Just one little swiperoo there, and we've got intense pigmentation. I love how it's super buttery and smooth. They blend out so effortless. They do have quite a bit of fallout, I will say, so no matter what, when you go in with a brush, you do need to tap it, because there's going to be a lot of excess powder that flies off. Not a huge fan of that, but for the quality of the eyeshadows, sometimes that's warranted. I love the selection of colors in this. It has everything from neutral, like lighter tone shades, warm tone shades, to all of these other warm toned, more vibrant colors. We've got like an orange, a pink, a cranberry looking shade. I love it so much, and I love the mirror. The mirror's nice. It's a nice dirty mirror. The packaging's really good. This fabric is really nice. It's kind of like a non-slip fabric, so it's really hard. I don't find that I'm clumsy with it, because it's just a nice kind of grippy fabric, and I love the color of it. I love how it has like the magnetic clasp to it, and it has this little thing here to help you open it. It's very sturdy and thin, so you can travel with it. I travel with mine all the time, and it stays in good condition, so highly recommend this palette. I love it. Next thing is this is the Morphe and Kathleen Lights eyeshadow palette. It's so good, and I wanted to mention this because it just came out not too long ago, but I did want to throw in this mention because it is so bomb, and for like $14.99 it is amazing for the quality that you get. The shadows in here are again super smooth and pigmented. They just glide on the skin like a dream. I love the selection of colors. I've created so many different eye looks using all of these shades. I can honestly say all of these shades are wearable and you can pull these off no matter what. I love the selection of all of these. I love how the shimmers are really shimmery. Everything in this palette is amazing. It is a magnetic clasp like the other palette, and it's super thin as well, very sturdy, so again, you can travel with it. For mascara, I like using the Lash Sensational from Maybelline. It's the luscious version. It's super, super nice. Makes your lashes look uber long. The only thing I have to compare this to that I love equally as much is the Benefit They're Real, but I really don't want to have to pay $20 to $30 for a mascara. If I can get a mascara for $6 or $7 and it gives me the same amount of volume, then I really don't. I'd rather spend the extra money on other things. So I highly recommend this if you want a cheap, very good quality mascara. Now on to eyeliner. I've got several different versions of eyeliner I wanted to talk about because there's all different types of eyeliner, and I wanted to showcase each different type and my favorites in those categories. The first one is these. These are the ColourPop Creme Gel liners. I like using these for the inner waterline. They're super pigmented. They stay all day. And they're really nice. They create that nice thin line. I love how it's retractable. The colors, the selection of colors is amazing, and I really like that one. That one's like a dark blue. Sometimes I'll be tired of just the same old black and I'll pop this dark blue in the waterline, and it just gives your eyes something different, like a different dimension. Oh, and by the way, the dark blue was in DTLA. This one, the lighter blue, is kind of like an aqua, is called Bee Sting. And this one is really, really pretty, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Look how pretty that is. I haven't used that one quite as much as the regular black Swerve eyeliner that I always pretty much use, but I really like it and I can't wait to create some sort of fun eye look with it. So I really like all of the creme gel liners from ColourPop, and they're super cheap too, which is a huge plus. Next is Felt Tip. I had some sort of beef with Felt Tip at one point because I was using the Kat Von D tattoo liner and it just dried out really, really quickly. I barely used it and it was dry all of a sudden, and I just didn't want to have to pay that much money for something that didn't last long at all. But I found a Felt Tip eyeliner that is freaking amazing, and it came with the Nikkie Tutorials and Too Faced collab collection, and it's the Too Faced sketch marker. They have all different colors. I just have the black one. Obviously this one is really bomb. I mean, it creates just such a thin, very deep black line, and I just think the application is amazing. This has lasted me quite a while. I've had it for a couple of months now and I use it pretty often, and it lasts me a long time, and I think it's the packaging. It's kind of got like this sort of springy resistance when you try and put the cap on, and then when you push it in all the way, there's like a really tight, somewhat loud click that happens, and I feel like that kind of helps the air from getting into it and drying it out, and it really keeps it really nice and moist and keeps the pigmentation and the payoff how it should be. Next is the NYX matte liquid liner, and I use this pretty much in every tutorial. I use it on a almost daily basis. It's such a nice, look at that, look how pigmented it is. It starts off a little glossy, but it does dry matte. If you're interested in a glossy version, they do have that. It's called the Vinyl, but this is the matte version, which is freaking amazing. It glides on seamlessly. It's super pigmented. The applicator is nice and thin, so you get that really crisp line. I just find that it's great for creating that really ultra thin winged liner look, and it's super cheap too, so highly recommend that. Next, I want to talk about these heavy metal glitter liners from Urban Decay. Oh, these are so good. I have two colors. I think this one's Glam Rock, the name has rubbed off, and this one is Midnight Cowboy. I wear Midnight Cowboy all the freaking time. I have it on right now on my inner corners, on the inner section of my lower lash line, and over top my gold glittery eyeshadow that I have on. I put this on top. It just intensifies the look even more and makes it even more amazing and glittery. That's it right there. Oh, it's so pretty. Usually when you use a glitter, you want to put down some sort of liquid glitter adhesive first to make them stick, but this it's liquidy because it has that already in it. So the glitters in it really have staying power. You can pretty much add it to any look and it will just give it an extra oomph, an extra something, and it's just super pretty. I love the little applicator on it, very, very thin. Everything about it is amazing. These are kind of pricey. I think they're like $20 each, but they're so worth it. For lashes, I really like using these. These are the House of Lashes from Iconic. They are so nice. I don't have a new pair to show y'all. I need to buy more. You can reuse them over and over again and they will still look amazing. I like the design of them, how they are like a little bit of a crisscross design. It's super pretty. It just looks very like wispy. It just makes your eyes look like very cat eye-ish, and I think they're gorgeous. The lash glue that I like to use is the House of Lashes lash glue. This is a little mini version of it. I switched over from Duo to this because I found that my lashes stayed on better with this product. I feel like they really last a long time and I don't have to worry about them falling off or kind of coming up at any point because it really makes them stick. But it's really nice when you go to take them off. They're not going to hurt when you take them off. It's not going to be a struggle. They come off really easily with a little bit of makeup remover, or just your fingers if you're that beast mode. And I really like it. It's also silicone free, so if you find that when you use lash glue to put on your lashes and your eyes are kind of getting irritated, you might be allergic to the silicone that's inside it. This is silicone free, so I would recommend trying it instead. All right, let's talk about contour. Contour, I like using the Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D. This is not necessarily an ideal contour for someone who's not a makeup artist because it's got a lot of shades in here. If you just do makeup on yourself, I would say trying out the NARS Laguna bronzer. It's a really, really pretty contour shade because it's kind of like a little bit of an ashy tone. It's not super warm. This, however, if you are a makeup artist, I recommend it because it has a lot of different shades in here that work with a lot of different skin tones. I'm not a huge fan of the powders. I've tried them before under my eyes and they make my under eyes look so dry, like so dry. So I use these sometimes to kind of clean up my contour on my nose, but that's pretty much all I use them for. It's super smooth, it blends out really nicely, it's very pigmented, and it has a really nice mirror. Again, it's a magnetic sort of closure and it's very thin and sturdy. Again, great for travel. The bronzer that I've been loving all year is this Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. As you can see, I've hit a lot of pan on it and I need to buy a new one soon. This is just the prettiest bronzer ever. It's so, again, so smooth, blends out so nicely. The coloring on this is phenomenal. It's like just a very natural looking bronze. It's not too orange, it's not too cool toned. It's just a very nice, subtle, warm bronzer. And what I also like about this is there's several shades. So they've got the milk chocolate, they've got chocolate, and then they've also got like a dark chocolate Soleil bronzer. So it's great. It's a great range for all different skin tones. Again, it's a really good formula and I love the mirror on it as well. I use it all the time. I wear it pretty much every day. So yeah. Next is blush, and I have been obsessed pretty much all year with this blush right here. It's the Benefit Coralista blush. It's such a pretty blush, you guys. Like, I can't even, it's so pretty. I have it on right now. It's such a pretty peachy toned blush that's got a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's not shimmery. I don't like shimmery blushes. This isn't shimmery. It doesn't look glittery on the skin. It looks luminous. Okay, do you see that? Do you see? I don't have a highlighter on. This is the blush. All of this right here. It's such a luminous blush. It gives you just a hint of color, just the right amount of color to make it look really natural, and it just highlights the face without highlighting it. It's just beautiful. I'm telling you, one of my top 3 blushes of all time. It's phenomenal. So on to highlighter. In my 2015 Best of Beauty video, I talked about the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop highlighter that was a collab with Jaclyn Hill. That is still one of my all-time favorite highlights and I love it so much, but since I talked about it last year, I wanted to introduce a new product that has also been my favorite this entire year. This is the ColourPop Flexitarian Highlight. Bam! Look at that. It's like a champagne dream. It is freaking gorgeous. This is the softest highlighter I've ever felt in my life, and that's saying something because the Becca ones are super, super soft, like butter, but these, like melting, like they're just melted butter. And look at the pigmentation of that. I barely swatched it. And look how pigmented that is on my finger, and then when I go to apply it, it's so pretty, you guys. I can't even. Onto brows. I am a brow fiend. If I just had to choose one product that I could have forever, and that would be it would be my brows. And the reason being, as you probably already know from past tutorials, is my brows are invisible and you can't see them at all. And the best brow products come from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Their powders, their pomades, their brow wiz, the brow definer, the clear brow gel, the tinted brow gel, everything is bomb from their brow line. Just saying. And one thing in particular that I absolutely love using is the brow definer. It's kind of like a triangle shape, and it just allows you to get every hair. It's also very quick because it is somewhat of a bigger typed applicator that it applies really, really quickly and precisely. I also have a brow wiz here. It's just kind of like a point. And this works really good as well, but it just takes twice as long. If you can see the difference there. They're both really good though. The formulation, it's amazing. These are both very, very creamy and they glide on super easily. They're just very pigmented, and I love the range of colors that they have. I've used anywhere from taupe, caramel to blonde, and they're all fabulous no matter what color you have. The range of colors just goes with so many different skin tones and hair colors. And of course I have to have a clear brow gel to set my brows. I like the clear brow gel just because it doesn't give me any additional color. I like to apply the brow definer. It gives me just the right amount of color that I like, and then I just use the clear brow gel to set everything in place, kind of like a hairspray for your brows. So it keeps everything locked in throughout the day, and those puppies are not going anywhere. All right, we are almost done. On to lips. I have several lip categories that I want to go into. I've got liquid lipsticks, lip glosses, and a lip topper. The first thing I want to talk about is this. This is the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipstick in the color Ginger Snap. This is the most phenomenal lipstick formulation I have ever used. That was like boom, boom, done. Super opaque, super pigmented, glides on so easily. It's super moisturizing on your lips. It doesn't feel dry, it doesn't slip around a lot. It's like a satiny finish, but it leaves your lips feeling very, very moist and soft. The thing I love most about it is that Bite Beauty is a really clean brand. Their brand uses basically all natural ingredients, so there's no preservatives or artificial colors in it or artificial scents. This is all natural, and that's what makes it amazing. So if I had to choose a lipstick formulation like that I would use for the rest of my life, it would be the Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipsticks. Next is lip gloss. This is a lip gloss that I like to use. It's called Fairy Floss from ColourPop. The formulation of the lip glosses from ColourPop are really, really good. They have just the right amount of pigmentation. They keep your lips looking really, really glossy. They don't have a strong smell, which is nice. And they're just really pretty. Next is liquid lipstick. My favorite liquid lipstick formulation, hands down, is Lime Crime's formulation. It's so bomb, you guys. Like, I can't even. This formulation is insane. It's a liquid lipstick and it stays on your lips really, really, I mean, it has amazing staying power. It'll last the entire day. But when it starts to come off, it doesn't come off flaky, it doesn't come off in chunks, it doesn't look patchy, and it leaves your lips not dry. I don't know how they do it, but it's not dry. It's ultra matte, but it's not drying. It literally feels like there's nothing on your lips. Normally, if there's a really, really matte liquid lipstick, by the end of the day or just within a few hours, you will feel like, oh my gosh, I just want to take this off. It's awful. The feeling of really ultra dry lips, this doesn't do that. You literally don't feel it, and it's very, very matte. This color, y'all, this color is freaking gorgeous. Look at that. It's like a really pretty, vibrant, pinkish red. Oh, it's so pretty. It's called Pink Velvet, by the way. The next is this. This is also a liquid lipstick. It's called Santa Sangre from Kat Von D. I'm actually wearing it right now underneath my gloss up top, and it's just the most pretty red I've ever worn. It's kind of like a cool toned red. It's got a little bit of a blue undertone to it, which I find fabulous because I don't have anything like it. So I feel like it would go with a lot of different skin tones, and it's just very unique. It's very pretty. Only thing I have to say about this formulation is that they do flake a little bit. After a couple of hours, they'll just get a little bit like flaky, not crusty, but flaky. But it's not noticeable. It's not like, oh my gosh, it's coming off in chunks or it's looking patchy. It's not any of that. It's just very a subtle flake. Other than that, I really, really like it. Last lip product is the one I have over top my lips right now, and it's the Jouer Lip Topper in Skinny Dip. It's just the most pretty champagne-y gloss ever. It's like metallic. It's beautiful. Here it is right here. It's just golden champagne goodness. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. So like I said, I'm wearing it over top my lips, and it just adds a little something something, a little extra, makes them a little bit more metallic looking, and great for like fall and winter. Glittery lip glosses can feel kind of chunky or glittery on the lips. This doesn't feel like that at all. You can buy these on Jouer's website. It's spelled Jouer. Or you can, I think, buy them on Beautylicious website as well. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about is this. This is the setting spray called MAC Fix Plus, and it is bomb. I love this. I've talked about it in a lot of videos in the past. It's really great for priming your makeup, for setting your makeup. When you apply makeup with a lot of powders, sometimes your face can look a little powdery. What this does is when you spray it, that powder just melts into your skin and just looks more luminous. It does let the makeup stick to it because it has glycerin in it as well. I also like using it for foiling my eyeshadows, and it really helps to stick glitter to the eyelids as well. And that is all of my Best of Beauty products for 2016. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all of the support and love that you have given me through this entire year. I am going to give you guys a lot more in the upcoming year with tutorials, and I'm hoping to improve my whole beauty setup with maybe a better background. I hope you guys have an amazing new year, and I will see you next year. Bye-bye.